Hello, and welcome to this month's Paranormal Roundtable. Welcome back. We have our regular crew. Greg is with me. How you doing, Greg?
Wonderful, thanks. How are you doing?
I am awesome. As always, we have Mike from Paramike with us. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
Good stuff. And joining us again is Michaela from Paranormal or What podcast. How are you doing this fine evening?
By gum, I'm doing fine, lad.
Get your Yorkshire roots there.
For anyone who doesn't know, Ash has just come from an audition as a 80s game show host, hence why the intro was like that.
Look, Greg kind of threw me on the spot, and I don't. That just came out.
I
It's
thought you
supposed to-
sounded very perky, actually.
Come on down.
It's just the Serrano I'm drinking. That's a bit.
Oh my god.
Oh, Serrano, good.
Pint-
I'm drinking
pint of Serrano.
triple sec because it's the only thing we had.
It's the only thing.
Pint of the Serrano that sort me
I've
out
got my cup of tea.
in a Christmas mug.
It's a Christmas mug I've been drinking out of all year.
You're fucking keen.
Because no, I'm not. Because it's a big vessel, so I can have a big cup of tea. That's the only reason.
Anyway, so this month, let's start with half of us. We're at a big paranormal festival this last weekend, the Festival of the Unexplained, where Mike and Michaela both visited. I think both for the first time going to that festival.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, for me anyway, yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah. We've I've never been, but we've been lucky enough to have Karen, the organizer, on the show a couple of times, talking about the festival and her work and her mediumship and all that sort of stuff. So it's good that you guys were there to kind of give us the other side of how it is as an attendee to attend. So yeah, let's kick off with Festival of the Unexplained.
Attendees with social accounts who are trying to network as much as possible with many people.
I did spot that.
Full
Here's
confession, it was more 1.5 members of this podcast because I actually started feeling absolute fucking garbage by midday Saturday and went home.
Oh.
I don't know whether it was dehydration or whether the woo woo kicked in and I was overwhelmed by all the crystals and such, but don't know, felt fucking managed to watch Danny's talk and then felt garbage, so I was like, I just need to go. Annoyingly, when we got in the car and I had some chocolate, that perked me right up while I was halfway down the motorway on the way home, so I was like, oh, well, it's a bit late now. Anyway, aside from that, so Michaela will have a better understanding. Michaela did way more of the weekend, so she'll have a better understanding of it overall than me.
So where was it first of all? Let's start with that.
It was at Bosworth Hall in Warwickshire, which is a spa hotel and a very big one. I haven't been to a hotel that big for ages, actually.
Humongous. Absolutely humongous.
It was a sprawling old hotel,
It was,
but still like 3-star.
It was like the Overlook Hotel from The Shining.
It was.
Where you'd go down a corridor and go, where the fuck is this leading? And like,
I've not seen The Shining.
Get Out.
What on earth?
Have you not?
I've even shown my children The Shining.
Oh, mate. Fuck watching the fourth kind after this. Watch The Shining. It's brilliant.
Who has now led the most sheltered life? Me or Ash?
I was going to say I got abused for not watching whatever film you talked about before. You not watched The Fourth Kind. You not watched The Shining,
mate.
But yeah, a paranormal fan apparently.
I was going to say
you need to watch it, Greg.
I go underground, mate. I don't watch this Hollywood bullshit. I'm in deep with Hellier and Most Haunted and shit like that.
All B movies. Anyway, yeah, the hotel was bizarre. Like you'd turn round a corner and it would lead to sort of an empty corridor or something like that.
And it was the sort of hotel where they gave you a map when you booked in, because it was so hard to find your way around.
And me and Patsy still managed to get lost trying to find our room because they went, go down here, you'll see a set of stairs, go through the door opposite. Okay, cool. We just went totally the wrong way and we're like, where the fuck is our room? It was bizarrely laid out, honestly.
But It was good. It was good. I had the impression when I went in that there were several bars, but it turned out there was only one. But people were taking their drinks all over the place, so that's why it seemed like there was loads and loads of bars outside and on terraces and in hidden nooks and all
Yeah.
sorts of stuff.
So note to self: 1 bar only, and
Yeah.
take a map.
One bar will travel.
1 bar. So where
um,
it was like a whole weekend, wasn't it? So did it start on Friday, if I'm not mistaken?
So the event itself, actually, depending on what ticket you brought, you could be doing stuff Thursday night, where there was a ghost hunt Thursday night, and then Friday night there was platform mediumship with a guy called Rob Thompson. But then the actual main bulk of the talks and everything was Saturday and Sunday. And I'm pretty sure that was. I only did half the Saturday. Should have been all the Saturday, and then Michaela did the Saturday and Sunday because we actually met in the bar Friday night when she arrived and walked in looking a bit sheepish, and I sort of waved and went hi over in the corner, and didn't really recognise Michaela without her glasses on. I was like, "Is that?"
Yeah, I'm looking for somebody with red hair and glasses. Who's that woman with red hair?
Yeah, exactly that.
So, yeah, because yeah, I can see from a distance, so I don't normally wear my glasses. It's just when I'm having to see close up, I
Yeah.
can't see anything without them. Yeah. So anyway, we yeah, and they did some sort of ghost trip, didn't they, on the Friday to Kenilworth Castle? Was it?
That's it. Kenilworth Castle Friday morning. They sort of, for all the like super VIP member tickets, they went out there and they took like, I didn't think they would have, but they took Danny Moss and like Daryl Marston and some of the other speakers out there as well, which I thought they'd have just sort of turned up for their talk, as it were, done the talk, hung around for a bit and go, cool, thanks, see you later. But it would seem like, I mean, we spoke to Danny Moss about it, in fact. He was there and on the piss for 4 days, essentially.
Yeah. Everyone was literally dying by the Sunday,
Yeah.
and because we didn't get into whatever was going on the Friday night. There was some big party after hours, but we were just sat in the bar. So because we took it quite steady on the Friday, we were all fresh for the Saturday, and only normally hungover on the Sunday. But the people who'd been partying for 4 days were literally dead. There were people laying on sofas, and people not coming out of their rooms, which apparently is why the festival is only 3 days next year, because they're trying to make it so that people can survive for the weekend next
Wow.
year.
Sounds like Glastonbury or
Oh,
something
it
like
was
that.
mental. It was
Spooky
such good
Glastonbury,
fun.
honestly, yeah.
I've never been anywhere, I have to say, hand on heart. It's my first Paracon, but you go in and there's like a marketplace with loads of stalls, and then the speakers are sat at the back. Now, last year I went to Horicon in Sheffield, and that it's a similar kind of idea, but much much bigger. So you had the marketplace and then all the famous people at the back, but you couldn't really go and talk to them. Whereas at the Festival of the Unexplained, you could literally you just walk past the crystals and go, oh, here in a row are Daryl Marston, Dave Schrader, Danny Moss, Penny Morgan,
Griffith Morgan,
Neil
yeah.
Story. And you just worked your way down the line chatting to them all. And you could do that as many times as you wanted during the day, as long as they were sat at their little table. And it was so friendly. And then went to the ball in the evening. There was a Gothic masquerade ball, and they were just literally walking around the tables, getting as drunk as everybody else and having a good dance. And Dave bought me a drink. um Danny was having a great time, shall we
He was
say.
loving it, wasn't he? From the video I saw on Facebook, he was fucking absolutely loving it.
He was having a good old boogie. He was as tiddly as the rest of us, and everyone was just being really silly. And it was literally, they put us on tables for the ball, So I went with my sister-in-law, and I was on table 3. She was put on table 9. They literally split us all up, so that we'd all get talking to other people. So I was sat on a table with these fabulous ladies from a paranormal group up north called Kindred Spirits, and I got talking to them. I sat talking to them for hours. There was Neil Story, the historian, his son Lawrence at the other side of me, and his partner Amy. And we literally just all got on like a house on fire. It was one of the best nights I've ever had, I have to say. And then the talks were fantastic, really professional. It was just it was I can't speak highly enough of it. It was one of the best weekends I've ever had, I have to say.
Yeah, some
Ah.
of the best 4 hours I've had as well. Yeah, but
You're such a flake, Mike.
I
Honestly.
may,
Yeah.
I felt fucking garbage after, like, not just literally, but also I was just like, for fuck's sake, all this way, and within 2 minutes, I'm like, oh, I'm feeling rough. I best go home. To be fair, I only really want to see Danny speak,
Yeah.
but yeah, the talks of the ones I saw, well, Danny Moss's of the ones I saw, they were both really good, but Danny Moss's was very, very good, to the point that he did like a little talk and showed some of the footage he'd captured from like Lower Wellhead Farm and from my haunted hotel, and dropped some nuggets of information about my haunted hotel that I don't necessarily think are massively out in the public at the moment, and we may not be at the liberty of to say, so I won't. But then at the end, he was like, any questions? And I stuck my hand. And bearing in mind, we all know what TV Danny's like, and internet Danny, where he can get a bit leery and go at people. And I stuck my hand up and went, how do you reconcile having a haunted doll when you don't believe in haunted items?
Oh, good question.
And he sort of smiled, went, I knew this was going to come up. And do you know what? Like, from the answer he gave, and then we went up afterwards, and Michaela introduced me, and I sort of shook his hand, and we were having a chat and stuff. From the answer he gave, fair play to him, he sort of went through the history of the Great Stone, and then went, how do I explain it? I can't explain it. I don't actually have an answer. And to stand there and say that, as opposed to just try and come up with an answer, was great. And then I also, because I know he's been getting a lot of shit from debunkers recently, so I also said to him afterwards, I was like, I didn't want to ask out loud in the room because it might not go down well, but I was like, is the paranormal in the worst state it's been at the moment, with the way debunkers and people on YouTube are going at each other? And he was like, to be fair to him, he was like, events like this really reinvigorate my faith in the paranormal community. And yeah, I totally get what he means, because it was, even if everyone wasn't super like-minded in what they believe, it was definitely very respectful and sort of a celebration of it, rather than debunkers and skeptics and believers being at each other's throats constantly. So yeah, like, real life Danny is such a nice dude, and just like a guy. It's not like he's there going, oh, I'm Danny Moss, you should respect me because I've done XYZ. No, he's just a dude, real nice dude.
Fanboy.
Yeah, definitely. Let's put it this way. Even Patsy was like, he's actually a nice guy. I quite enjoyed his talk. And previous to that, she didn't like him from what she'd seen on TV and stuff. So I was like, told you.
Fair enough, yeah.
Yeah,
Neil,
I don't want to spoil his street cred, but he's a real sweetie.
he is, yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
That
And that doesn't, that maybe a slightly different persona can come across over the internet, or you know, when he's doing My Haunted Hotel, he's being Danny Presenter and all that sort of thing. And everyone has different personas for different parts of their life, don't they? But it's really nice to sort of go, yeah, I remember. I haven't seen you for 6 months or whatever, but yeah, I remember actually. You're a really nice guy. I really like you. And I think when people, it's like email being the enemy of tone, when you're on the internet and even just typing stuff out, things can come across. The nuances aren't there, are they? And and Dave Schrader. I mean, I just thought he was fabulous. I interviewed him. It was quite funny because I've been building myself up to going. I'm going to be speaking to Dave again. I'd done this hour's interview with him on Zoom about 6 months ago, and I was thinking, I talked to this man for for 60 minutes. Of course, he's going to remember me. And then there's this other part of me that goes, he's not going to remember me, is he? No, Michaela, you must brace yourself for the fact that when you go up and speak to him, he might not remember who you are. So I went up and I was like, hiya, Dave, remember me? And he looked at me and he went, no. And I'm like,
brutal.
I was like, are you sure? And he went, no. Who are you? And I was I'm Michaela from Paranormal on What Podcast? And he went, Michaela, I speak to thousands of people a year. And I'm like, I was getting smaller and smaller.
I
And
was
shrinking down in front of him going. And then I just let Yorkshire Michaela go. And I went, oh, come on, Dave. Bloody hell, I can't believe I spoke to you for 60 minutes and you don't even remember who I am. It's a bit of a poor show, mate. And because I told him off, and then we got talking about, I don't know, loads of rubbish. And I got on like a house on fire. And he turned out behind his kind of brusque manner that he has on the television, he's very serious. And on his Paranormal 60 podcast, he's, very professional. But behind all of that, he's just a really nice, funny guy. And it's lovely to meet people in person. The last thing I said on the Sunday, as I ran over and got my final hug in with him, like, I need another Dave Schrager hug. I was like, it's just so nice to meet you in person because people are just so different in real life. It can go either way. I think we were lucky that everybody at the festival was absolutely lovely in real life. No airs and graces, normal people with sense of humour, silly, liking a few drinks, just regular people. And I know that sometimes it doesn't always go that way when you meet people that you think, oh, I really want to meet that person. I think we'd really get on, and then you're sorely disappointed when you meet them. But it wasn't like that. They were really lovely people. And I've bought my ticket for next year already. I can't wait to go again.
jeez.
Wow.
I was going to say I was sort of stood behind looking at one of the stalls where I heard Michaela go up and go, "Hiya, Dave, remember me?" And my fucking heart was sinking when I hear him going, "I've been on the road for 4 months. I do 1,000 of these things. I'm really sorry, but I don't." And I was just like, "Oh man." But on the flip side of that, Michaela had messaged me as she was driving up, going, "Oh, I don't know if Dave and Danny will remember me." Blah blah blah. And when after Danny's talk, Michaela stuck her hand up to ask a question as well, and you just see Danny, a big smile come across his face and go, "Yes, Michaela." So it's like he does remember you. And then afterwards, when we went up and spoke to him, he gave her a big hug immediately. He's like, "Oh, how you doing?" and that sort of stuff. And it was, yeah, almost like an old friend reuniting. Do you know what I mean? Which was
Yeah.
really nice.
It was lovely. The bit you didn't see, though, Mike, was when I accosted him over breakfast earlier on. He was
Right,
sat
okay.
having his breakfast, and I went running over going, Mr. Moss, how are you? So give him a big hug, and he had a big mouthful of toast. I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't realise you were eating. I was literally hyper the entire weekend. I was so overexcited. I was like, I think I was like a 7-year-old on speed the whole weekend. I was just like, "Rah!" Yeah, I think I was probably slightly overwhelming to everybody, but I had the best time ever.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it was very, very good. Neil's story as well.
Oh,
That
what a
Michaela's
nice
already
man!
mentioned. He's a historian. I only really saw the historian side of him because he had a little stall in the marketplace area. Me and Patsy are just walking past, and he might as well have gone roll up, and had a fucking cane. But he was like, "Oh, come and have a look, and he was selling Victorian pennies or Victorian half pennies for like whatever amount, and like he was selling old medieval.
£5.
Yeah, okay, selling old medieval exorcism crosses as well. And some
Nice.
stuff, and he's like, "Oh, Victorian halfpennies, they'd be great for trigger objects, blah 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 blah." And we're looking and going, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "Look at the date on them. These would have been around the time of Jack the Ripper." And then we're looking, and he goes, "But I know, I've got something that you might like even more." And whips this big fucking bag out and plonks on the desk. And I went, "A sock?" Because it looked like it was just a sock full of something. He goes, "No," and he reaches in, and he's got. We bought them in the end, a couple of Victorian halfpenny, because he swindled us. A couple of Victorian halfpennies that were from 1879 and 1889, and he's like, "Oh, these could have been in the hands of Jack the Ripper," because they're from that sort of era. And I'm like, they definitely weren't, but yeah, you got me.
That's why you felt ill afterwards. It
Yeah, yeah, mate.
realization
The
kicked
fucking-
in. It's like, fuck, I've been done.
What's it called? The psycho. I can't remember what it's called. The stuff where mediums hold an item of the dead and channel them through that. I want to say psychomantium, but it's not that at all. But yeah, that's that sort of thing where you go, "Oh, I've got your grandma's scarf or something," you know. Maybe it was some dodgy coins. Either that or Patsy was getting to the point where she was spending just a little bit too much money on crystals and other stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm feeling, fucking hell.
Yeah, I spent a fortune. I bought everyone's book because they were signing them, except for Neil's because he'd sold out. So I must get that.
It looked interesting.
So I bought all the books. I bought an enormous crystal, kind of smoky quartz, I think it was. It was huge. And I bought some Neil Story pennies, and I bought a Roman coin from Neil as well, because I'm teaching my class about the
Fucking
Romans
hell.
at the moment. So I spent 25 quid there. Yeah, my husband hasn't seen my credit card bill yet.
But even and I know they sort of run the event and everything, but as me and Patsy were about to leave and Michaela was sort of coming out, I can't remember why, coming out the front as well, the way we were going, Karen Frey walked in front of us and she was like, "Hi, yeah, how you getting on?" And I sort of went, "It's a bit piss taking, Liam. Please stop, Greg." I can hear whatever
What are
you're
you
trying to
scuffling
open.
about with there?
As we were leaving, Karen Frey was there, and I sort of went, "Yeah, Michaela, you could have Karen Frey on your podcast." And she spun around, and we got talking to her for like 15, 20 minutes just about the entirety of everything she's done. And again, I get that she's the festival organizer, but a really nice person, and just she's obviously got a fucking ton on when she's organising that, but to stand there with us for 20 minutes and just have a chat, it was like, fair play.
Yeah, it was great, and yeah, they are coming on my podcast. As is, I was networking. I'm not very good at networking normally, but because I was so hyper the whole weekend, I was just running around going, "Will you be on my podcast? Will you be on my podcast?" And they all said yes because they're such nice people. So now I'm chasing them all, going, "You remember when you said you'd be on my podcast?"
I've got
So
a
it's an
verbal
amazing,
contract.
yeah, an amazing place for networking. So I think you two should go next year.
Yeah,
I was so close to going.
you should absolutely go.
I was a bit gutted I didn't. Maybe next year.
You better get your tickets quick. They're going.
I haven't given
Oh,
Ash the good news that I messaged Karen last night and said, "Look, if you're up for 2 new speakers for next year, me and Ash are up for it. And we'll talk about the paranormal and cryptids and UFOs and the way they're all connected." And so sorry about that, Ash.
Looks like I'm going to next
You
year.
guys, you guys would love it, honestly. Michaela's right, and so is Danny to an extent. It's just, yeah, just really good.
So, Michaela,
Mm.
what was your favourite talk? Do you have a favourite talk from the weekend?
Ooh. Well, I liked them all. Can I just start by saying that? I know that's a cop out, but I really enjoyed Danny's talk because he was really brutally honest and told everybody what hangover he had. And then said he was completely unprepared and then whipped out this fabulous video that he'd obviously prepared earlier. I really enjoyed Penny's talk because so Penny G. Morgan is a historian that's often on Help My House is Haunted and various other programs. And she's very knowledgeable. I bought one of her books about Epping Forest because me and my group are going to investigate Epping Forest soon. So I'm really interested in that. Dave Schrader's talk, he's just so personable. He talked for an hour and a half and it felt like 5 minutes. And it was like, oh, have you finished already? But actually, the one that I really, really enjoyed, Darren Marston's was really good as well. But Neil Story's talk was about Bram Stoker. He's written a book about Bram Stoker. And it was the thing that I really admired about his talk was it was so polished. He talked for an hour, and it was obviously a talk that he's done before, and he had slides, and he even had it. It kind of started like really good stories start at one place, and then they take you on a big circle and come back round to the beginning again. And he even had kind of like an ending flamboyant sentence. I can't remember what it was, but it was just so professionally done. I couldn't help but admire how he did his talk, and it was really interesting. So much so that I bought the book. I'm about to buy the book on Bram Stoker, who I've not really been that interested in before. So I liked them all for different reasons, and I'm sorry if that was a cop out and a long answer.
No, that's great. Was there any UFO stuff there? Obviously, you talked a lot about sort of paranormal. Was there any UFO stuff there?
There was, was it Jay Austen?
I don't know.
Yeah,
He was an American dude who was there, and I looked at him. I'm like, I have no idea who you are. Like, I had a vague idea of the other ones, but him, I was like, I don't know. But yeah, Saturday 1:00 there was a UFO UAP talk.
yeah, and I think there was one. Yeah, there was one. Was that the one? But I don't think Jay's American, is he? I thought he was
Maybe not.
English.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it had coincided with me needing a nap before the evening ball. We flagged a bit, so I had a half-hour nap because my sister-in-law didn't really want to watch it. But then afterwards, I thought, oh, I wish I'd gone to actually find out what he said. So I regret not going, and I wish I had. So I'm sorry, Jay, if you listen to this. I would like to listen to your talk in the future, but
Again,
I was
again, the madness of the
nappy.
festival. Sorry to carry on talking about my fiance, but the madness of the festival with Patsy, who hates anything UFO or alien related because she's shit scared of it. When she's looking at the program and she's going, "Oh, that would be interesting, the UFO or the UFO talk," and I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, because it's something different and this that, and the other." And I was like, "Oh, okay. Who are you?"
What have they done with Patsy?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Who is this new agreeable woman?
She was lovely. She is lovely. I really enjoyed meeting her, actually.
She is, yeah. She's a very good actor when she meets people in public.
Oi, don't be mean.
No, she
Are you
is.
hearing
She
this,
is, yeah.
Patsy?
Unfortunately not. I'll be moving out quite quickly if she was. No, she is. She's the entire reason why I'm into this weird, wacky thing.
Mate, she's not listening. You do not need to.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, fuck her.
I'll send her the link though, so don't
Be
worry.
careful.
Timestamp it.
So, talking about our friend Danny Moss and moving away slightly from Festival of the Unexplained, we briefly spoke the last Paranormal Roundtable about something that we were going to be doing. Or did we even say it on air? I don't think we did we?
I don't think you did. You've announced it on socials quite a lot, though.
Yeah.
Can't
So
remember.
we spoke off air afterwards to say that we were going to Delamere Forest to we're allowed to say where it is, aren't we? I suppose so. Delamere Forest. Yep, Delamere Forest.
Fine.
To do a CE5 UAP investigation with Danny Moss and record it for his paranormal investigator program that he has on VHX. So we've been anxiously waiting for this to be edited and whatnot. We spent the afternoon, evening, and quite a large part of the night with Danny, so I can relate to what you said about Danny being like a normal guy, because we spent a lot of time obviously talking to him and walking around and doing loads of weird stuff and videoing. And yeah, he is a nice guy. His partner's really nice as well. She was on the investigation with us, and she does a lot of the camera work. So she was really nice. Nice to meet her. Although I did get lost a couple of times whilst following everybody to different parts of Delamere Forest. I got lost multiple times.
It's the first time I've seen a drone in person, and they are so cool.
Oh yeah, Danny had his drone, his Mavic.
Like, wow, it goes up so high. I've never seen one before.
Oh, Ash.
Sheltered life.
I know.
Perhaps they don't have. No. Okay.
So we spent the evening, like I say, doing like program video weird stuff with my hands and stuff like that.
It's good that like it's kind of behind the scenes stuff is really interesting to see how and what goes into actually producing a TV show that you don't see.
Yeah.
When you look at obviously when you see a finished TV show, but yeah, no, that was really interesting. There, that was enjoyable as like the actual investigation does being there, being like the camera work and all the production that goes into it, and it's a lot of work and how much footage to get, how much different things you got to do, how much thought goes into everything, and like with this TV show, it's pretty much just Danny doing it all, and his girlfriend, and the amount of work that they must do to do such a polished sort of episode that comes out of it is pretty insane. So it was a C5 / paranormal investigation cryptid.
Yeah.
Delamere Forest has got all sorts of tales going back of dogmen, wolves, werewolves, dragons, Bigfoot, all sorts of reports since the Middle Ages. Going back to Roman times, because Delamere Forest is used to be a road from, I think it's from, I don't know, Knutsford to Chester, just a straight road. And it used to cut through what was the forest. The forest, Delamere Forest, is quite small now compared to what it used to be. It used to stretch all the way up to the Mersey. To be a massive, massive forest. Obviously, a lot of it's cut down, and the Romans built a road through it in a straight line. And there's loads of tales from them saying that this like the werewolves, these weird dog man creatures, and this is many years ago. The Romans were around, so that's really interesting. And these tales go on to today. There's loads of reports of people going missing, people being found dead in the forest, and everything else in there. So it's cool just to do it's the CE5 part, which we did, which is the first time I've done CE5. Being a UFO guy, being more the sort of skeptical, science-based kind of investigations we do. I've never really done the CE5 side of it, which is the more spiritual, like connecting to it. Go on.
Who was running the CE5?
Natalie
from
UFO Identified. She's part of the heist group in the Northwest. They regularly go out.
I had a conversation with someone who I believe is part of that group a while back, who said that when they were coming down to Avebury, they were like, "Oh, you should come along and do it with us because that'll be great." And then it never transpired because of whatever. But yeah, I've heard of the heist group, and it does seem very interesting. Did you actually get any results from it, or was it?
We saw. I mean, for me, a big part of the heist of CE5 is meditation, and they play this long, like guided meditation. And I try stuff like this, just try and relax at home, partnering this type of stuff. And I just can't do it. I can't just sit and listen to someone telling me to breathe and think about this stuff, and I just cannot do it. So I tried, tried doing it. It's just not something I can do. And that's about probably, I don't know, nearly half an hour of listening to
It was a fair
someone
time,
talking.
Yeah.
Have you tried meditation without it being guided?
I haven't.
No.
Because that may be easier. I get it's really fucking difficult to try and switch your brain off and let it and not have it wander. But sometimes I think you just kind of have to let it wander and see where it goes. Sometimes
The difficulty we had is we were in the middle of this forest, and there was loads of weird noises. It was a beautiful, clear night.
We got picked the perfect night for it.
Yeah, I cannot tell you. Looked up where we were sat, and it was just stars everywhere. It was incredible.
Yeah.
And then I looked around, and I saw this fucking glow through the forest, through the woods, and I was thinking, shit. And I pointed out to Danny, and so the others were doing the meditation, and for some reason I got my eyes open at one point, and there's me and Danny. I was like, can I see stuff? And Danny's like, there's stuff, and I was trying to do this meditation, but there was all this stuff going on. It's just there was some weird stuff, inconclusive stuff, I would say. It'd be interesting to see what the video shows.
Yeah.
Because some things did happen. I won't spoil it, but there was some things happen. Could have been normal stuff. I don't know, but the whole sort of ambience of the being in the forest at night, on the prowl for UFOs and dog.
One thing I probably will say, because I don't think this would be on any of the cameras somewhere I saw it. I didn't even say it at first. I wasn't sure. I mean, just think, have I just saw that happen? But behind Greg, so we were sat in like a diamond shape.
Yeah.
So I'm sat facing Greg, probably about 10 feet apart. It's dark. We've got some lights from the cameras, but apart from that, it's pretty dark. I saw something white, like a white figure or shadow, just run from the forest behind Greg and like across the path behind him, like a white proper figure. And it's like, so behind Greg, it was forest, a path, and then a bit of open land. And it ran from the forest behind Greg and into the open land, but then it didn't like make it to the land. It kind of just went from one side of Greg, but then didn't come out the other side from where I could see. I was like,
Standard.
It's like I saw something run across the path. But yeah, I don't think that would be in the episodes. Don't mind.
No, there's no.
It's only sort of that's one weird thing that I can say, I guess.
Well, so did you find out what the glow was, Greg?
Yeah, it was the moon. I won't lie. I was thinking, what the fuck is that? Honestly, I was looking up. I was like, I kept looking around it. I was thinking, it's still there. And we were doing this, like we were sat there in this like diamond shape in our chairs. Like I said, we had the lights pointing down into
you
us.
You were in chairs? You weren't sat cross-legged on the floor, communing with nature?
No.
Dear.
No.
Sorry, go
on. As much as I wanted to be. Yeah, no, I kept seeing it. I kept seeing Alcon. I was thinking, what the hell is this? And I even pointed it out to Danny. It's like, I think that's the moon. Just tell me that's the moon. So, yeah. But there was, that was just a small part it was a good day. We like I said, we learned lots of behind the scenes stuff and B-roll and loads of trips of us walking up a path, trying not to look at a camera, and walking past a drone without looking at it, and while it's at head height, and it was good fun.
That is the hardest bit. When I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but years ago, I'm a teacher now, but I used to be an actress. And so I've been in, films, bits and bobs of films and bits and bobs of TV programs, but mainly I did theatre. Um, but it's when you're doing film and TV, it's so hard not to look at the camera because there's this thing in your head that's going, look at the camera, look at the camera. And then you kind of take a glance and some director shouts, tell her to stop looking at the camera. You're like, oh, damn, I didn't mean to look at the camera. And it's really hard not to because you kind of have this inner urge to do it because you're not meant to.
I think I looked at the drone as we walked past. At one point, I was thinking, "Fuck!" I just looked at the drone,
and it's like walk naturally. It's like, now you've said it. How can I do it? I'm now thinking, how do I not walk? How do normally walk?
How do I
think
normally
about
walk?
it usually?
Do I swing my arms? Do I, Oh, I don't want to look stupid, so I mustn't do that thing where I lean forward all the time. So I'm gonna put my hips forward and lean back and swing my arms, and then you end up just looking like a complete twat.
So, talking about looking like a complete twat, I rocked up a little bit late, and I literally turned up, found everybody, and Dan is like, "Your interview now." I literally been about 5 seconds, no word of a lie. He was like, "Right, your turn." So I didn't even. There was no prep for me. I just obviously consummate professional. I just rocked up and done my thing, and then went. But yeah, we did have some weird stuff. We did a spirit box right at the end, so it'd be interesting to see what Danny caught on that.
We started off with some Esthers. We did an Esthers before we did the CE5 to kind of get into it and kind of set the mood a little bit.
Yeah, that was a big part of the filming was the Estes method. We done it in a couple of different locations, and the last one we did right at the end to wrap up. I was listening. It was my turn, and I had these particular headphones on, I think, and I kept getting loads of like interference, like proper electrical interference, not that sound. It was like proper electronic interference in my head, and I kept saying it. It must be on camera that I could just hear like a almost like a squelchy kind of thing. I don't know, but I could hear it, and it just kept happening all the time, and it'd be interesting to see because at one point I think something was captured on camera. 43 minutes. Okay, that's all right. I just edited that bit out. So yeah, I done my bit, and I think there was some stuff caught on camera. I don't know. Haven't seen it. I haven't seen any footage from that night from Danny. I had a GoPro on, so I wore a GoPro on my head for a lot of the guided meditation and CE5. So it'd be interesting to see what come out of that footage. So yeah, it was a fun night, a fun day, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think this Paranormal Roundtable is going out today. Once I edit it after this recording, and I think our episode might be going out next week. I think I'm just waiting for Danny to tell. I did message him the other day to see when it was going out. So I'm really sorry. I've been really.
Some people on the Most Haunted group said that there were 2 episodes of the Paranormal Investigator dropping within the next 24 hours or something.
Oh, okay. Maybe it is this week then. One dropped today. Oh no, one drops on Thursday. Yeah, and it's not our one. And then there's another one which will be our one. And I don't know when it's coming out. But yeah, we'll obviously be spamming it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, check that out.
You'll know about it when we know about it.
And that will be on the paranormalinvestigator.v8x.tv. I think it's like £1 an episode to watch. For that one.
The big question is, would you attempt CE5 again?
Yeah, I would.
I'd love to have a go.
I would like to do it when everything else that was going on around us wasn't going on around us. I.e.,
Not
I was
not the
aware
cameras and stuff.
I was
Yeah.
aware that we were trying to do all this stuff, and I was fully aware of these bright lights in the middle of a forest. So it would be good to just get a chair. I bought a chair specifically for it, like a reclining sort of camping chair,
Yeah.
with some headphones on, and just sit there out in a field somewhere. It would be good to try that without the kind of, not pressure. There was no pressure that night, but the kind of, I don't know.
Production side
Yeah,
of things.
without having to be aware that other stuff was going on as well.
Yeah.
It would be nice just to sit in the dark and give it a go properly. I felt like I couldn't really absorb myself into the guided meditation.
But if what happened in like a different place, it'd be hard to think. But yeah, you have to wait till the episode comes out
Did you use lasers?
Yeah.
to see that.
No,
Some people do.
we didn't know.
We didn't. Some people have them. I'm always not sure because, like, if you like shine it on a plane or something, you can find out where you were and find out who it was and all this stuff. It's like then changing an aircraft, all this stuff. So I'm like,
for a ton of money.
Terrorism act.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going anywhere near these laser pointers.
But yeah, if the thing that happened is on there, which I'm pretty sure it will be, which I'm not going to tell you guys, you have to watch it.
Yeah.
That was an interesting part of the night, for definite. If
I'd
that's
really
not
love
too
to do
vague
that.
for you.
Well, I understand that we have to wait and see. But I'd love to do that. I've started doing meditations actually, but I am slightly naughty because I don't have the time to do it during the day. I just literally don't have the time, so I do it sometimes. Usually when I go to bed, because I find it hard to switch off. I usually listen to a podcast on my earphones at night when I go to bed. But sometimes I do a meditation, which I know is not the time you're meant to do it. But I find it really relaxing. And I don't know. There's two different ones that I do. One is a meditation to open your third eye. And one
There's a joke in there.
It's indigo, by the way. And there's another one where it's a meditation to connect with extraterrestrials or something. But it's just really interesting. It's really, I don't know if it would ever work or not, but it's definitely interesting.
I used to do it almost daily until we went on holiday early this year, and then I stopped doing it. But since going to the Festival of the Unexplained, I've picked it up again, and I've had some very fucking odd experiences while meditating. Now, again, it could be my subconscious and my brain drifting off into places.
Why did you just wait until 48 minutes into the episode to start dropping stuff like that?
Because this is the natural flow of the conversation. What would you like to know, Greg?
No, I think we're a bit late, a bit deep into it now. We're going to have to revisit this, I think.
I don't mind. I'll tell you. Like, if you ask me questions about it, I'll tell you. I've not really got any airs and graces.
Can we
No,
extend
I was just thinking, because we've got other agenda items we were going to talk about.
Well, we don't need to. The other agenda item was films, right? And although it would be full circle for you not seeing the bloody Shining, we can just talk about meditation experiences and the whole spiritual side of the paranormal.
Crack on.
Right?
Go for it. Yep. So tell us a little bit about it.
So I first started doing like guided. This is entirely to try and get better intuitively as well, right? And be better when I've given readings to people. And initially I started with guided meditation, which was really good. There's a woman called Lauren Robertson who wrote a book about mediumship, and she's got a free guided meditation, which is really good. And it's all about like go for a big oak door, and then you walk into a forest, and one of your loved ones comes up to a gate, and you basically sit on a bench and have a chat with them for a bit. And visualizing that's quite interesting. And yeah, it's tough to talk about, man, because I feel like a fucking nutter with some of the stuff that comes out of my mouth after I've meditated and been like, oh. In fact, I said this to Michaela at Festival of the Unexplained. I went for and sorry if this is all over the place, but I went for a reading once, and the reader was like, oh, one of your spirit guides is Native American, which is cliche as fuck. And immediately I was like, I'm pretty sure it's not. But from then doing meditation and trying to do work into figuring out my spirit guides, whether I believe in that or not, I don't know. One of them seems like an elderly, paganistic Germanic lady. And I don't know why, but I've always had a weird affinity with Germany. Just really like it as a country. This, that, and the other. There was a couple of others as well. But yeah, one of the most profound experiences was it was a Sunday morning, and I don't know why I wanted to connect with sort of my great grandmother who passed away 5 years ago or something. And it was just a passing thought of, oh, I wonder if I can sort of pull her in, whatever. And bam, it was there. And I was like, oh, okay, hiya, how you doing? You and Grad had a good, cool. And then started uncontrollably crying from doing it with like my eyes closed, and was just like, where the fuck's this coming from? Because yeah, I cry probably like once a year, if that. And that was weird for it to, and again, could entirely be my subconscious or something within my brain that's doing it. But for that to happen and it to be like that, overcome with emotion that I'm there, fucking blood my eyes out at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning in the spare room. I was a bit like,
we've all been there, Mike.
Most of the time it's after people have had a heavy night and they're like, fucking hell, why did I do this?
So I've got a question about that then. Did you said you had your eyes closed, so did it happen whilst you had your eyes closed?
Mm-hmm.
So you could sort of see it in your mind's eye?
Yeah. Third eye is, Michaela spoke about the third eye chakra, which is quite correct, purple. But yeah, eyes closed and welling up, and I think to the point that I had to like open them to essentially let the tears out.
Let the tears out.
Yeah, it was weird.
So did you see things or hear things, or was it just like a knowing?
It's just like
feeling?
a knowing. It was just like knowing that, I guess, wherever she is, she's happy and she's reunited with Granddad, and everything's fine on that side of things. You know what I mean? Because I know it's not necessarily that the family ever worried about her, but it was just one of those nicety knowing things. And yeah, like, yeah, weird. Any more questions?
Yes, I want to book in for a reading, please.
We can certainly do that. One of the other interesting things somewhat recently, so in terms of spirit guides, I think there is approximately 4 that I've managed to, and stop me if I sound like an absolute fucking nutter at any point, please, but I think there's approximately 4 that I've sort of managed to connect to and be like, these are essentially different representations of traits that would build up a human being. So like the Germanic elderly lady or paganistic lady is very about very attuned with nature. Being a pagan, that makes sense, but very attuned with nature and very much about, like, I wouldn't say pride, but like stubbornness is probably the wrong word, but you know what I mean, like being forthright and sticking to your guns. And since I started actively pursuing the mediumship side of things, I kept getting occasionally, very early on and throughout the time, a vivid image of a bald gent with quite a circular head and quite a tight ginger beard. And it just kept popping up, and I was like, okay, whatever, potentially it's someone popping in to try and contact me or whatever, I don't know. And then since getting back from Festival of the Unexplained and doing meditation, he popped up again. I'm like, oh, hi, how can I help? Like, well, Which, like, are you connected to someone? What do you want? This and that. And it was very vague as to what the information I was giving, and I was all getting. And I was like, okay, cool. And then the next meditation session, he was associated with the other people or the other entities I identify as spirit guides. And I was like, right, this is why you can't give me answers as to who you're connected to or why you're here. Because apparently, in my mind, his name's Dave, and he's a big, strong, tough guy, and he's like the embodiment of strength and mental fortitude and stuff like that. And it's like, right, now this makes sense. Again, stop me if I sound like a nutter or if this sounds like utter bullshit, because it does to me sometimes, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
I think, like, have more. I think you know obviously what you're getting, and I think you know yourself well enough to go with whatever it is that's going through without worrying about what other people think about, and go with that gut instinct. That's what it's telling you by the sounds of it.
It's a real tough one, because where I'm so, I guess, skeptical about stuff still, a lot of it still doesn't add up to the logical part of my brain, and I'm like, well, this all sounds like weird woo craziness, but I can only sort of speak on what my experiences are. One of the weird-ish ones a while back was I can't even remember how I got onto it, but I started sort of questioning the sort of the initial existence of man, and immediately I was shown sort of pantheons and acropolises and Greek structures, and my brain immediately went, yeah, but that's not true, because there was civilization before the Greeks, right? And the reply, the reply of wherever it came from was very matter of fact, and was, no, this is it. It was almost as if there wasn't any arguing with it. This is it. This is what we're showing you. This is how it is. Okay, cool, thanks.
But did you get a sense that they were just saying, this is what we're showing you, rather than this is what came first? So they were just saying, we're showing you this. We're not interested in showing you anything else. It's purely this, rather than what came before, or
potentially, yeah. I don't know. It was what was being shown to me, and I was like, okay.
Or that's like the start of the spiritual
start of consciousness, maybe. Or consciousness as we know it. I don't know. It's one of those weird things, and there's been a couple of times where my brain will sort of question what's been shown to me, and the answer is almost always very stern and very, this is the way it is. There's no discussion about it. It's just, here's what it is. Okay, cool. Stop questioning it, sort of thing. Yeah, very bizarre. And again, take that for what you will.
Do you write these things down? Have you got like making a diary of things that?
Yeah,
happen?
I started one ages ago when I started doing it, and I haven't for months, because obviously I haven't meditated for months. Where I said I sort of stopped it after a holiday way back in May or whatever, and I've just started doing it again. I haven't written in my book, but I've made a note on my phone the other day about when Dave popped up, or David, should we say, as we'll affectionately call him. But yeah, I've got like a short form of journal from stuff way back. Yeah. And a lot of it was when I was sort of initially starting to discover spirit guides, and then how they would appear to me in like an associated name and what they represent, sort of thing. Sounds like bollocks, doesn't it?
Well, it doesn't. But maybe we could put it on the agenda for next time, because I've actually probably told you my story, but because I have a memory like a goldfish, so I'll have to run it by you before I start boring everyone with it next time. But I've had a few things to do with kind of mediumship, and something strange happened to me at the Festival of the Unexplained, and it's probably a coincidence, but the second thing really took me aback. It's really short. So I was sat there watching Dave Schrader do his talk, listening, and the first one I put down to a coincidence. So I was sat there And because I really like Dave, I was thinking, and because he's quite, he doesn't take any bullshit. So I sat there thinking, what's a really good, kind of witty, sensible, question to ask Dave? So I was thinking, and I can't remember what the questions were now, which is kind of irrelevant. And I thought of this question. I was like, yeah, right. It doesn't make me sound like a twat. I sound quite, intellectual and knowledgeable if I ask this question. I'm going to ask him this question. So I put my hand up, and I think it was Rachel pointed to a woman nearby and went, "Oh, what would you like to ask?" This woman literally came out with the question that I had in my head. And I was like, oh, shit. That was my really good question. Now, you could say that maybe the tone of the conversation had been moving that way. Maybe a few people, it was triggered in people's minds that, okay. And then Rachel came back to me and went, "What was your question, Michaela?" And I went, "Oh, well, that lady there just asked my question." And he answered it very well, blah, blah. Anyway, so then they carried on talking about something, and I was listening really hard and thinking, because I love asking questions. And if I don't get to ask my question, I start thinking, what other question can I ask? Because I really want to ask a meaningful question that's going to be really good, and everyone's going to go, "Oh, that's a really good question." So my brain was ticking over while I was listening to him, and I thought, this is a good question. Nothing to do with anything anybody's talking about. That's a brilliant question. And they asked a woman next to me on my right hand side, and didn't she fucking just ask that question? And I was sat there and I literally went out loud, because I was like, no, that's now the second person that has asked the exact question that I was just about to ask. So then I started, there wasn't time for it to happen a third time, which is always the kind, the magic three. And then I was sat going, was I picking up their questions in my head?
Maybe.
Like a shared consciousness sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Or was it just a massive coincidence? But they were both literally not kind of usual banal questions that somebody might ask. They were quite highbrow, even though I say so myself. But when the second person asked, I was like, you are joking me. And then I started to think, well, maybe I have got some abilities after all, because you do start to think, well, that's just weird. So maybe we could do that next time, or touch on that.
Do what exactly? I've kind of exhausted all my stories about
I'm
just
sorry,
meditating.
I'll tell you all about my stories next
that'd
time.
that'd be great.
Because I was told, I'm not going to go into it now because it's too late, but I was told once that I would have some sort of clairvoyant abilities later in life. And I've been kind of waiting for that moment. Things have happened, but deep down, I don't think that I have them, and I'm kind of constantly waiting for it to happen. And I've been told several times that it's not my time yet, and I'm thinking, oh, does that mean I'm going to live longer? That's good, yay! But so yeah, I'll tell you the whole story next time.
But then that in itself of waiting for a sign rather than actively going, maybe I can do this and pursuing that, is that not something that's keeping you waiting?
Maybe, but I did ask another medium in the last 2 years, and she told me that it wasn't my time yet,
Interesting.
and that I had to wait until I was older.
So if I tell you that it is your time,
then I'll go, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
have you ever, just to round us off, when you've been on an investigation at all, have you ever had the feeling where you can walk into a building or walk into a room and get and this is fucking so cliche and probably very open to people's interpretation, but you ever had the feeling where you can walk into a room or something and get a vibe or a feeling about that room, like feeling lightheaded or feeling sick?
Oh yeah,
Or
loads of times. But I do it all the time in my everyday life, and I have actually questioned whether the fact that I feel um, kind of vaguely ill 80% of the time, whether it might not just be my hypochondria. Is it things that I'm picking up the whole time? And that's a whole other kind of thing to get
Yeah.
into. But
Yes,
um,
it's
it
an
does
awkward
make me wonder
conversation.
sometimes. It does make me wonder. Am I just being airy fairy and going, oh, maybe I have abilities and it's just all affecting me, or am I just being a twat and wishing that it was to make me more interesting? I don't know. I just absolutely, honestly don't know.
Yeah, and
But I do
mean,
feel stuff. I do feel
that's
stuff.
that's my exact opinion of it. Where I'm like, am what I'm picking up, is it legit, or am I just putting two and two together, making five, and going, I'm some twat who thinks he's got some sort of ability and goes, oh yeah, it's fucking, oh, I feel sick in this room because there's a precognition there or something like that. Who fucking knows?
So I've got something I want to mention. Something I've only really just been thinking about when you talk about this meditation stuff. And because one way that I regularly have to do to try and get to sleep is like green noise, or thunder and lightning, stuff like that stick on Spotify, and that helps me get it. But when I'm like on that cusp of being awake and being asleep, I regularly just start talking gibberish. And I just say like a full sentence out loud. I know this is something everyone does. If it's just something that's normal, it's just, I don't know, your brain doing something as it starts to wind down. So the part's like, go to sleep. What are you saying? And it would just be completely random, unrelated sentences. It would be like, John, why don't you sit on the chair? I'll just like, it'd just be a random sentence. Or, why is that window open? And there's no window open. It's just like really just random words. Sentences that don't have no bearing. Don't know where it's coming from. It's just words that come out of my mouth. I don't know whether to start writing down and see if there's any correlation
You
from
should. You should
sentences to
always write stuff
sentences.
down.
You can
Always write
you
stuff
can get
down.
apps that record you while you sleep, and
Yes.
it'll pick up stuff like that and record it, and then you can play it back in the morning and go, "What the fuck was I on about?"
That's
I
not a bad idea.
I do it as well, and I've had short conversations with Patsy while I'm asleep. And to round this off, a very fucking harrowing story was not long after we moved into this flat. And apparently, I woke up one night and was sort of pointing at one of the top corners of the room, saying something to the effect of like, "What's she doing here? I don't want her here. Get her out. Get rid of her. What's she doing here?" And to the point that it really, really freaked Patsy out. I then, for want of a better term, came to and actually woke up and realised what was going on. And Patsy's there pretty much having a panic attack, going, "What the fuck? What the fuck?" And I'm like, what's wrong? What's happened? No consciousness at all that I'm the one that's caused it by freaking out and going, "What's she doing here?" and pointing at a random corner in the room, and I don't like her, get rid of her.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, I think that right about wraps it up for this month's Paranormal Roundtable. I might create a persona, a TV persona.
You're listening to Ash Ellis on the Pursuit of the Paranormal.
I like that.
So yeah, Festival of the Unexplained tickets are available for 2024 on the website www.festivaloftheunexplained.com. Make sure you check out the paranormalinvestigator.vhx.tv. Check out Mike on Power Mike on YouTube and social media, and the Paranormal or What podcast with Michaela Ford. That's it from me. That's it from Greg. Cheers, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Thanks.
Very much.